Hello boys and girls, this is Miss PJ, your art teacher. We're going to have so much fun today creating and learning about different things. But before we get started, we have to go over the rules. Our first rule is that we work quietly. The reason why we work quietly is so that we can easily concentrate on our work and so that we can hear any important instructions. We don't want to be distracted, nor do we want to distract our friends while we are creating our artwork. Rule number 2, we stay seated. The reason why we stay seated so it's easy for me, your teacher, to come to you to help you if you need help. If you're up and you're walking all over the place, it's hard to tell the difference between the kids who really need help and the kids who are trying to get themselves in trouble. Let's make it easy for everyone and let's stay seated. The third rule is we are respectful to everyone and everything. The reason why we are respectful to everyone and everything is so that we can have the most productive time and the most enjoyable time creating artwork. We're not putting our hands and feet on each other, we're not saying mean, nasty things to each other, and we're not destroying our artwork or the materials. If we choose to be rude, mean, or disrespectful, then maybe we should not create with the rest of our friends. Rule number 4 is we always do our best on everything we do. The reason why you do your best is because it will help you create the most beautiful artwork. If you make a mistake, do not put X's through your mistakes. Do not mark out your mistakes. Do not rip up your paper and do not ball up your paper. If you make a mistake and you really don't know how to fix it, we can raise our hands. All artists make mistakes. If you raise your hand, I will gladly come to you and I'll help you fix your mistake. Rule number 5 is we follow directions the first time they're given. The reason why we follow directions the first time is because it saves time and everyone knows that you hear the directions the first time. If you choose not to follow directions the first time they're given, then maybe you should not create artwork with us today. Now that we've gone over the rules, we can begin talking about our extra fun, extra awesome lesson today. We are learning about collages. A collage is an artwork made of many pieces of paper to make a whole new picture. Artists often combine overlapping layers of paper to make their collages. Collage techniques were first made famous by Romare Bearden, a very famous African-American artist who lived in the mid-1900s. Bearden's work often featured people playing music. We can make collages about any subject matter. Today, I will show you how to make a clock collage.
Alright boys and girls, today we are making clock collages, and as you know, a collage is an artwork made of many pieces of paper to make a whole new picture. I have 3 examples of clock collages right here. I made a clock collage out of combined triangles and shooting stars. I made a clock collage out of sheep grazing in the middle of a field, and I made a clock collage made out of people running in circles. You are asked to come up with your own designs, and each one of our designs was to be totally different. We all had a design paper and we designed on circles. My first circle has hearts, my second circle has a cityscape, my third circle has squirrels, and my fourth circle has a sunshine. I've decided I'm going to go with my second circle for a cityscape. Now when we are making our collage, first we need to think about the color of our background. Our background is the color that we start off, and it is our first layer. Since my background color is blue, I decided to pick a blue piece of construction paper, and I have a circle. On your circle, you're supposed to write your name on the back, and you are going to glue your circle to your first layer or your background layer. Then you can take a pair of scissors, and you are going to cut out that circle, cut right around the edge, all the way around. I'll cut all the way around so that my other side is blue. Then I'm going to begin working on my additional layers. For my additional layers, I need to use construction paper scraps to make my additional layers. My next layer is yellow for yellow buildings. So I'm going to take my yellow scrap piece of paper and I'm going to draw a building on it. You can use a pencil, you can use a pen, you can use a marker, but you're going to draw the details that you will then cut out and glue to your background layer, which is the circle shape. So I'm starting off my building, and most buildings are the shapes of rectangles, so it's mostly a rectangle. And I can add some skinny windows since this will be a faraway building. Now after I have drawn what I will cut out, I could take my little piece of paper and then I can cut out the shape of my building. So I take my scissors and I cut right here on the black line. Cut out the shape of my building. Now, if you didn't make buildings, of course, you don't have to cut out buildings, but you cut out the shape of the object that you will be gluing to the background layer of your clock. Then, I can go ahead and glue my building, decide where I want to place it on my background layer for my circle. And if you're using glue sticks, you rub all over the back. If you're using liquid glue, you dot, dot, knot a lot all over the back. So I've dot, dot, knotted a lot. And I'm gluing down my first building. And I can go ahead and draw additional buildings on construction paper and cut those out. And glue them down to our background layer. So right now we are adding our second layer, and I like this funny building. I want to add it. So if I think I need to cut off a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Bop, 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 bop. So far I have 2 layers to my clock collage. My first layer was my blue circle. My second layer are my yellow buildings, and I am going to add a third layer. My third layer is going to have orange buildings. This might actually appear to be red to you, and that's perfectly fine. I've already drawn and cut out my third layer to save time. Ba, ba, ba. And I can go ahead and place this on my circle. So now my clock collage has 3 layers. It has my background layer, which is my blue circle. It has my second layer, which is made out of yellow buildings, and my third layer, which is made out of orange buildings. Now my clock is ready to add shapes for my numbers and a minute hand and an hour hand. So now we're ready to add our shapes for our numbers. If you look at our examples, you notice on each one of my clocks, I have a shape behind each one of my numbers. My first clock has stars, my second clock has triangles, and my third clock has circles. When you are picking out a color for your shape, you want to pick a color you have not yet used in your clock collage. I decided that I wanted to make my clock collage out of green hearts. If you can see that, well, you probably can't, but green hearts. And I'm going to first put a green heart at the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. Now when you cut out your shape, you want to have 12 of the same shape. So have 1 green heart, 2 green hearts, 3 green hearts, and 4 green hearts. After you do your first 4 hearts, one at the top for the 12, the bottom for the 6, the left for the 9, and the right for the 3, you can go ahead and put 2 hearts in between, and you space them out evenly so that your numbers are spaced out evenly. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5, added 8 more. We already know that means 12, but you can go ahead and count to make sure that you have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have a total of 12 hearts. On each one of my hearts, I want to go ahead and write the number. We all know the number 12 is at the top of your clock. So I'm writing my number 12, and I want to make it nice and neat. It's a 12 at the top. Then I go 1, So now I have all of my numbers for my clock. The last thing we need to add are the hour hand and the minute hand. As we know, the hour hand is short and the minute hand is long. What you will need to do is you can take a pencil and you can poke a hole right in the middle of your clock collage. I'm going to go ahead and remove this so I can poke my hole. Like da 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 da. So I'm going to poke my hole right in the middle. And I've already poked a hole in the middle of my hour hand and my minute hand. And everyone is going to get a fastener. A fastener has a round button part at the top and 2 little prong legs. We can put our prong legs of our fastener through the holes poked in our minute hand and our hour hand, and through the hole that is poked on our clock. And then we flip our clock over, push those prongs down, and now I have completed a clock with the minute hand and hour hand that I can actually use. Just like I can use the minute hand and the hour hand on all of my other clocks. And that's the end. That is how we make a clock collage.